I finally started to realize I need to look inward because I felt like a snowball going down.
When we slow down, our business actually grows because we create time for creativity and those ideas to come through us. And I think for so long, we have fallen into this trap of if I slow down, that means my business is going to slow down.
I have started to step into my feminine more than I ever have, and my business is starting to grow even better in better ways that it would have never grown before.
Free to be me, free to sing, sweet feathers and let me like a hug.
Welcome to Safe to Be Seen. We are Brandon and Darcy, partners in life, love, and in rewriting the script. For years, we lived from old stories that kept us in survival. Stories of who we were supposed to be, what success was supposed to look like, and how we were supposed to show up in the world. But then we chose differently. We built safety in our bodies, reclaimed our nervous systems, and wrote a new story. A story rooted in expansion, intimacy, and wholeness. Now we coach others to do the same, to find safety inside themselves, to break free from survival patterns, and to step fully into their life, their love, and their purpose. This is the space where your story gets to be rewritten too.
The Safe to Be Seen podcast is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Darcy and Brandon Burke do not claim to be experts. We have no intention to defend our beliefs or impose them onto others. This podcast provides a space to allow for us to share with others what it's like to be us. We desire to share our human journey with others. We advise you to seek professional counsel, therapy, and/or treatment from trained, credentialed, and certified professionals for any emotional, mental, and/or physical conditions you may be experiencing.
Here's something powerful to hold as you listen today. If women-owned businesses earned at the same level as men-owned businesses, it would add over $10 trillion to the U.S. economy every year. That's how much potential is sitting inside women. And Lexi Bowler is proof of what happens when that potential is unlocked and nurtured. She's built Bowler Aesthetics into an empire, not by hustling harder, but by leading in a feminine way, connected to her body, vitality, authenticity, and her family. That's the story we are here to tell today. So, as you listen, I invite you to see yourself in her story, because her success is a mirror of what's possible for all of us. Lexi, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I've been super excited about this conversation today. And I know that it's going to be so inspiring for so many people, especially women, to hear your story today. Because the feminine and feminine leadership is really taking off. And I think girls, the feminine, are showing the world a different way. That a different way to run a business in a way that feels more aligned with their body and their truth. And so I know you're going to drop some like serious feminine frequency entrepreneur codes today.
I don't know. That's a lot of pressure.
No, I know you will. So I'm so excited.
I'm too.
Lexi, I've known you since you were in high school.
Yes, I know. It's so crazy.
I know. We were both blondes then.
True. We've come a long way.
Yes. So it's been so fun for me to watch I've been watching your journey throughout all these years and following you and seeing this incredible business that you have built. And I know that Derek is your business partner, your husband. He's very much been a part of this journey with you. So Derek,
definitely.
We see you too, Derek.
Yes, of course.
But it's just been so fun for me to see you evolve and grow and expand your business in ways that has been just incredible. And
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, of course. Before we get a little bit more into your story, I wanted to read just a few more statistics about women and business, because I just think this is such an important topic for women to feel inspired by and to see themselves in what you've been able to accomplish. So
love it.
Nearly 4 in 10 businesses are owned by women. Since 2019, women-owned businesses have grown by 17%, and employment in these firms rose 19.5%, with revenue climbing by 53%. These businesses now generate around 3.3 trillion annually and employ around 12.9 million people across the country. In 2024, women founded 49% of all new U.S. businesses, marking a 69% increase from 2019, the highest rate recorded in recent history.
That's crazy.
That's so
I love it.
exciting.
It's amazing.
So awesome.
It's cool.
I think for so long, the script that has been written for women is that you can't have it all. Like if you are a female CEO and you have a family and you have outside hobbies, something has to give.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of at a point in my life where I'm like, I'm willing to challenge any idea and any script that has been written for us so far.
Yes.
Well, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. I think that for me, I've always kind of marched to the beat of my own drum a little bit. And so even though there were, you know, outside statistics maybe put on me that, oh, you can't be a female business owner. I think when I started, I was so young, I didn't even think about it. I was kind of like, you know what, we're gonna go for it. And so I'm really grateful that I had that mindset, you know, because it paid off.
Yeah.
But now that I'm a little bit older and I can see, you know, what's going on more with business, it's so cool to see more female entrepreneurs rising to the top. But there, of course, is a lot of pressure in all the ways with motherhood and being a business owner. So I definitely feel that. But I agree I think that you can do it all and you can have it all.
Yeah.
I think that you can, for sure.
For sure. I believe that too. So Lexi, tell us a little bit about Bowler Aesthetics.
Okay.
What sparked this in the first place?
Well, I mean, like back to the very, very beginning of it, I got into aesthetics because I'm an esthetician and I wanted to do it because I struggled with really bad acne back then. So I wanted to learn more for my skin and be able to help other women like clear their skin. So it's kind of where it started. But then it opened up this huge journey into, whoa, I love everything in the beauty industry. Like it is so empowering. I loved making my clients feel beautiful. And, you know, my career has kind of evolved through that. Like it turned into permanent makeup, making women feel beautiful that way. And then it evolved into, you know, the industry really needs better products that actually work and have good ingredients and, you know, more heartfelt passion behind them. So we kind of went into the product route and then education route and then tried to combine all that together. And so that's kind of where we're at in my business now is, okay, we're trying to get our name out there with our products that we've created, but it's all been with the sole purpose of we need to make something and do something better than what's out there on the market. So that actually works, that people can actually see the results, that their clients can see the results. And so that's what I feel like has built our business is like the passion behind it and the results behind it.
It's incredible. And you just finished a new building here in Southern Utah.
Yes, we did.
How has that been for you? Where you house all of your products? And tell us what else you do there.
So it's like a combined studio of people that do the permanent makeup work and then also storing our products and shipping our products and our team that does all that. So it was quite the process to get the building up and running, and honestly hasn't been like flowers and roses.
Yeah.
It's been very difficult to get it off the ground, and we had a lot of issues getting in and with the products. You know, some of them went out of stock. We've been dealing with a lot of, you know, FDA issues, and they're all starting to come to a close now. And so we're kind of like light at the end of the tunnel, which is great. But that's also a part of my story that I'm so grateful for is like all the hard times that we've had getting into it, because it's like taking a big risk. You know, it's not going to be easy, but it has been so worth it in the end for all the lessons. So I feel like I could get into that so much, but in the end, I'm so glad that we did it because it really pushed us to become like the next best version of ourselves and level up through the process.
Yeah.
So
I think people, when they see like on Instagram or however we promote our businesses, they see all the beautiful products and all of just like the image of like what you have created, but behind the scenes of getting there.
Yes.
The work that it takes and the commitment and the challenges that come from running a business, you know, it's a lot.
Yes.
Have you always, when you, like, what sparked you wanting to, like, create this empire that you and your husband have built? Since you were little, have you always had a passion for business, or did you see
Yes,
yourself
actually.
going in this direction?
I never saw it becoming like what it is today, if I'm being honest. Like I never thought, oh, I want to grow a product line and have it, expand that way. I never thought that way. But ever since I was little, I have loved business and entrepreneurial things. Like I always was making bracelets and going door to door selling them. And I had a dog walking business and I made flyers ever since I was like probably 7 or 8 years old. And I just had this passion for, honestly, I loved sales. Like back then, that's probably what it was about. Like I loved sales. I loved making money. Like that's kind of where my business journey started. But I would say with why our business got to where it's at now was because of the community that we built. Because in permanent makeup, when we very first started, like there wasn't a lot of people in the industry that were willing to share how they did what they did or why they did what they did. It was very, very secretive. And so when I came into the industry and started, people would ask me questions. I'm like, why are people not sharing these things? It doesn't make any sense that they're holding it hostage. So I started to share and like really share with my community, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what's working. This is what's not working. And so it started to build, it was called the Bowler Sisterhood, where it built this community of women that had the mindset to, hey, let's support each other. It doesn't hurt me to share with you and vice versa. Like, let's build each other up. Because when we build each other up, it made the whole entire community of permanent makeup much, much better. So that's ultimately like where things started to snowball with my business, was because I built this community of people who were like-minded.
That's so awesome. And I think that what you're speaking to is just like this sisterhood of when women back up other women.
Yes.
The expansion and the growth that happens. And that when we hold on to our secrets in fear of like ourselves not growing and expanding,
right,
that we're actually limiting ourselves.
I agree.
And that when we share more openly about our ideas, about our gifts, about our passions, about the way that we do things, that's actually where expansion happens.
Oh yeah,
So
I totally
that's
agree.
such a great point that you make. The more that we share, the more that we give,
yes,
the more that we receive.
Yeah, I think that people can feel your energy if you're holding it all hostage to yourself and you only think that success belongs to you. That's such a different vibe. You will be so much more successful when you realize, hey, there's plenty for everybody.
Yes.
So
you started out just with aesthetics, like facials?
Yeah, I was doing like microderms, lash extensions. That's where I started, and then it turned into microblading.
Okay. That's where I needed your services badly.
That's where our friendship and services started. Yes.
So I had to tell the funniest story about that, because when I can't even remember how old I was, but it was like in the early 90s.
Okay.
And it was when, I guess, like really thin eyebrows.
Oh yeah.
were in style. And I was young. I was probably like 13 or 14, and I have 3 older sisters.
Okay.
And I feel like I was just an experiment for them to do this.
They're like, wow, let's try it out on you.
Yeah. I forgive you now, Marnie, Heather, and Amber. But they like put me on the kitchen counter, held me down.
Stop.
Yeah. Got the tweezers and tweezed the hell out of my eyebrows. I had amazing eyebrows before then, but I'm sure they were their little sister. They were trying to help them.
To blame for this. I'm like,
I should have had them pay.
No,
for
literally
your services
though.
For me. No.
Needed to be the fee.
But I look back on pictures, it was like this thin eyebrow that I never fully recovered from until,
oh my gosh,
until you helped me out with that.
We can fake it. You don't need it anymore. We'll just pretend. It's fine.
So thank you, Lexi.
That's hilarious.
So it went from there to you being like, what the heck? You designed your own blade, right?
Yeah, so I first started doing microblading, and the blades were creating these really large hair strokes. And so I thought to myself, how is there not something thinner that's creating something really realistic and hair-like? So I ended up finding some manufacturers just through Googling and like building some relationships with some online. And Derek and I went out to Hong Kong and met them. And that's kind of where it started. I told him, hey, I want to design something that has a thinner diameter so that way when it cuts, it's a really, really thin hair stroke. So when we released our very first microblade, it just it went crazy because people
Wow.
thought, oh my gosh, yeah, hello, like a thinner diameter, thinner hair stroke. And so that's where it started. I always just wanted to create products that would actually help the artist do better work.
Yeah, that's
So
incredible.
it was fun.
That's incredible. And then from there, you just continue to expand.
Yeah, just like
Then
one little thing, like one little tiny thing at a time. Like when we
Mhm.
first started, we saved up our money and invested like $2,000 into doing the blades. I think that we got a couple hundred boxes. And then, we would just save all of our money from that one product and then
Mhm.
flip it. And as soon as we saved enough for a next product, then we would do another one. And so it was just little by little.
How did you get the ideas for these products? Were you just using products already and you were like, I can do this better? Or there was
Yes.
something you didn't like about them?
Both. Every time it was kind of like, why are people using Aquaphor to heal the brows? That occludes the brows. And I kind of had my background of aesthetics mixed in with permanent makeup. And so I wanted something that was more breathable, didn't occlude. And so we created our all-natural healing balm. And I was hooked up with a manufacturer that like specialized in all natural ingredients, and I still work with them today. And so, yeah, I always wanted to just create things that weren't on the market. I had, ideas, hey, if I would really like this and use this, because they were always dipping their hands in little pots. And so it was
Yeah.
not sanitary. I'm like, let's put it in a tube and,
Mm.
just little things to kind of fine tweak, and then the formula deck itself. And so whenever I launched a product, I always made sure, hey, we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it good. We never rushed anything. It always took us a couple years per product to even launch. So that's kind of like where it all began. And then honestly, I fell in love with it. Like I can't stop.
With the creation?
Yes, it's my favorite part.
Yes. And like letting your intuition guide you toward these pieces that you want to create and
Yes.
following that, of
100%.
knowing deep within yourself, I have this amazing idea
Mhm.
and I know that it's going to help people, and then going through with that.
Yes, no, exactly. Like looking back, that was what it was. I didn't realize it until I got older what
Mhm.
was happening, but I agree with that. But
So
that's
what do
how it
you
went.
think you have within you, Lexi, that gives you that ability to trust yourself, to trust, is it trust, or what do you think that you have within yourself to be able to do that?
To take like the next step with an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I would call it trust and belief. And I feel like also anytime I release something, it's something that I know that I would love,
Mm.
that I would use and I would love. And I'm like, if I would use it and love it, other people are going to use it and love it too.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing I've realized is that, sometimes we feel isolated in how we feel or how we think or things that we love. And I just now, instead of assuming someone won't love it, I assume the complete opposite.
Mm.
Like I always assume to myself, someone else feels this way, someone else thinks this way, someone else is going through this, someone else would enjoy this, because really we're alike. Human beings and females in general are alike in so many ways, and so I'm like, something that's so important to me that I feel is a worthy cause, I believe that people are going to feel the same way as me.
Mhm.
So I think that it probably is the trust factor, and also just like good assumptions about what others are thinking.
Mm. So Lexi, how many products do you have now available that you have created?
We have about 45 products, and some of them have more variants to them. So
These are all ones that you've created?
yes,
Wow.
yes, not all of them are cosmetic products, but some of them are like our microblades. We have like 9 different sizes,
Mhm, mhm.
things like that. But our core products are our healing cosmetic proprietary ingredient decks, and those ones we have 9.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's fun.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So how many employees do you have?
We have 10 employees.
Okay.
So small but mighty.
Mhm. So how have you and Derek worked together in this type of dynamic? Because you're obviously married, so you have
Yes.
that relationship, and then you're also business partners.
Mhm.
And so how have you been able to find that balance between work and between love and between kids?
Honestly, it's been tricky, and I wouldn't say that we've like found a balance per se, but something that I've really been thinking about lately is more so like harmony. We've been trying to find harmony.
Mm.
because balance, it's like, okay, we can't equally balance everything all the time. And sometimes it's hard, we have to be on when we get home from work because there's something really busy happening, or other times we have more time for each other. And I feel like this is such a topic that honestly, like we could probably have a whole podcast on with itself. But something lately that we've really been striving to do is have really, really prioritized boundaries with our time. So, my mornings are sacred. Like I don't go into work before 10 now, because now I have employees that will get there a little bit earlier, start helping, get things started. And then I like to get home by 4 so that I can be home with my kids. And then Derek and I try to, as much as we can, do a date night once a week. But it's interesting because as our business has grown, like our passions and priorities are the same. So it all is kind of blending, at night before we go to bed, like sometimes we have a hard time shutting up because we want to just talk about all the things that we learned that day or that we want to implement into the business and our, what we learned from the podcast that we listen to. And so it's all kind of like it never turns off. Like it's not like an off and on switch. Like we have integrated it together where it's just a part of our daily life. I don't know. Like I'd be so interested to see how other couples do it. But for us, where we're at currently, it's working for us, and it's harmonious in a sense. Like, the music of our life or whatever sounds beautiful to us, and it works for us. And so, yeah, I just think that ultimately we'll never have perfect balance. But whenever things are going too much in one direction, okay, we need to pull off the brakes. Or if it's not enough, okay, we got to put on the gas.
Yeah.
So,
and I think harmony is such a perfect word for the situation. And also that there probably really is no right or wrong way of doing it. It's how you feel inside your marriage, how you feel inside of your business, and also allowing for change, allowing for, we need to do this differently.
Totally.
How can we still stay connected in our marriage in a way that is going to help us also thrive in our business and in raising our kids?
Totally.
So,
because things are always changing. Like my kids' schedules are always changing, sports, all the things. And so, yeah, I feel like it's just a constant evaluation of, okay, where are we at? How do we rearrange things to look better? I don't know.
Yeah. There's, like I said, I don't think there's really any right or wrong way to do it. I think it's how you're finding that harmony and flow with inside your own life. So that's awesome. So Lexi, in a world that often celebrates hustle culture, and that I think for so long too that female entrepreneurs have tried to build their businesses based upon being more identified in a masculine energy. And I think that's led to a lot of women experiencing burnout and symptoms in their body like depression and anxiety, because if you align with the female energy and you are basing your life predominantly off of like masculine energy, you are going to start to feel those effects inside of your body because it's not alignment with your true essence. And so I'm curious, Lexi, how you have worked at building your business while staying aligned with the feminine essence and feminine energy, and what you have done to prevent burnout happening.
Well, wish I could say that I haven't had burnout or that I haven't been in my masculine, but I would say that for the first 7 years of my business, honestly, I was in my masculine energy, 100%. Hustle, lots of sacrifice, lots of grinding. And honestly, I don't think that my business would be like where it was at without like the hours and time that I put in. Or like I could have gotten there eventually, but I was in that masculine spot for a long time. But it did make me burn out over and over and over again. And so I didn't start really leaning into more of the feminine side until I got pregnant with my second baby. And when I got pregnant, it really slowed me down because I was sick and, you know, all the pregnancy things. And so it forced me to slow down. And then at that same time, it like really forced Derek to even step up even more, you know, into the business role. And we had to, you know, bring on more people to help out because I just couldn't do it all anymore. And I'm so grateful for that it really, really slowed me down because now that she's 18 months old, so she's a little bit older, I have started to step into my feminine more than I ever have. And my business is starting to grow even better in better ways that it would have never grown before. And so for me now, and being in my feminine means, okay, I am prioritizing myself with having boundaries around work, when I don't work, you know, like taking weekends off, allowing myself to not look at my emails and all the things going on after I get home when I'm with my kids, finding hobbies, things that I enjoy, focusing more on like my self-love and my self-care and my mental attitude instead of more so on just like work. And so I feel healthier and happier now than ever before. And like focusing on what I put into my body and my movement and all like stretching, releasing energy. Like I never focused on any of that before. My body was literally stiff, like a stiff board because of all of the pressure that I held. Yeah. And so now that I've started to release that, like things are starting to flow better and the future looks like even brighter because now we can bring on other people to help with those tasks that I hustled so hard for.
Yeah. Thank you for speaking to that, of naming just how you felt that the first years of building up your business, you were predominantly operating from your masculine energy. And this is not to put down masculine energy. Like, it's amazing. Yeah. It has served both the feminine and the masculine in so many ways. I mean, incredible businesses have been built from that.
Yes.
But I think what we're speaking to is trying to find, again, the word harmony within yourself, of balancing about both of those energies within yourself. Because if you don't, it will eventually lead to burnout. Yes. And burnout leads to illness, and it leads to lots of other things that don't help us feel alive inside of our bodies. Yes, I have a client that I'm working with who, she built up this $1 million business and had started outsourcing her worth. She had started just operating predominantly from her masculine energy, the doing and the productivity and the going all the time. And slowly, like, her body just started like failing. And we're working on building that back up in herself because she really loves what she does. But her business has kind of taken a fall from it because, you know, our businesses are only a reflection of ourselves and what's going on inside of our inner worlds. And so I think it's so important that, you know, if you're thinking of starting a business, or if you are in the middle of your business and this is resonating with you, of like noticing symptoms of burnout, of checking like where are you predominantly working from? Are you know, and reorganizing yourself and healing yourself so that you can feel alive while you're operating your business. Yes. And let your business work for you, and not you working for your business.
Yeah, because I think that I love that so much, because I feel when you're operating a business as a female, a lot of times you're a creative. And so sometimes I think it's hard to turn on and off switches. And so you can easily get into this loop and cycle of just constant work and not be able to turn it off. And so like if I could go back in time, I just would have put better boundaries on my time. Like that is ultimately what has helped is having a set schedule for myself, because I'm very ADHD. I'm all over the place if I don't have a grip on it. Yeah. And so I would set hours for myself, and, you know, I would make sure that I was setting time aside for myself. Even, you know, now I'm like, okay, on Tuesday nights I do my hobby and I go do pickleball, and like it fills my cup for me. I need my alone time. I need to recharge. And I think that having boundaries around your time can just help prevent the burnout, and then have you have more balance or harmony so that you can do it all and not just be constant working.
Yes. So you spoke to, you feel better now than you ever have been.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about that? Like, and you feel more aligned with your feminine now more than you ever have been.
Yes.
And I think that's so beautiful what you said about how becoming a mother helped bring that out in you.
Yes, it did.
So yeah, can you speak more to that?
Yes, as soon as I had Junie and her being a baby, I knew, okay, I need to dedicate more time. Not that I didn't dedicate time to crew, but I only had one kid at a time. Having two kids, that's like a whole other story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, I need to be able to be there as a mom. And so what am I going to do to change that? So it first started with my time boundaries. Then it turned into, okay, well, I also need to not feel guilty for taking care of myself still,
Mm-hmm.
because it started to turn into this, okay, well, I'm not taking care of myself because I have the business and the kids. So then I became, depressed and neglected my health. And so my health really took a toll. I lost a ton of weight because we were going through really, really stressful times last year through our business. And I stopped, going to the gym. I stopped caring about really what I was eating. I wasn't stretching. I wasn't doing any self-care other than like getting up and getting dressed and being, on the outside looking cute and nice. But I finally started to realize I need to look inward, because I felt like a snowball going down. And even Derek saw it. He's like, you're not you anymore. I started to become more negative, more cynical, scared, fearful, all these feelings that ultimately started to go down. And it affected our business greatly. And there were a lot of things going on simultaneously that would have happened regardless, but I do feel like all of it kind of fed into each other. And so it just got to the point where I'm like, I have to make this stop and I have to choose myself. Otherwise, this is like going to be not good. Like if it's going to go down, it's going to keep going down. I can't have this. I have these really high goals of where I want to get. And so I had this thought in my mind, if I don't become the person that could handle these goals that are here, like I have to become the person, it's not going to work. I have no choice but to step into this better version of myself. And so I slowly started to prioritizing getting back into the gym. I got back onto a meal plan, where I was eating a lot more food, healthier food, started taking supplements, and started getting back into therapy. And my therapist told me, you need to start stretching your body. So I started stretching. And the first time I started stretching, I literally cried the first night that I did it, because I just felt like this release from my body. I was so stiff, anxiety. I started to have anxiety attacks. And that's really where it all began, was I realized how out of touch I was with my body. I didn't even know what was going on in there. It was like a stiff board, like I said. So ultimately, that's kind of where it all began, was me realizing what was happening within my body and how I was feeling. And then I started to journal a little bit and get outside, go for walks, sit more in gratitude. And ultimately, that's what led me to, okay, 6 months later, like this was only 6 months ago. 6 months later, now I'm feeling night and day. Like night and day difference. But it wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have like focused on my body and healing myself, really.
Yes. Embodiment. Oh, embodiment is the code to, I feel like, to keeping a sustainable business alive.
Yes, I agree. Now, honestly, a year ago, I wouldn't have. I thought all this stuff was kind of like I wasn't really into it. And so that's why I avoided it for so long, because I was so much more in my masculine. So I agree.
Yeah. And I think currency is capacity. And capacity is found within the body. And if you do not clear away, I think what you're speaking to, all that stiffness that you were feeling, Lexi, was like this like survival energy in your body of like the going, the doing, of being stored up inside of your body, that when you cried, that happens so often when people start softening and feeling their bodies and releasing that survival energy. And realizing that the more capacity that we create within ourselves, the more space we're allowing for creativity and flow 100%. And love and time, like literal internal space inside of ourselves.
Yes,
and
I
that
agree.
When you're walking around with all the stress, survival energy, like the body shows it on the outside.
Yes.
And when that can be released and softened into and healed,
Mhm.
you know, you spoke to how your business has benefited from it. What
Yeah.
has that looked like?
Well, things have started to, during all that time we were going through, like I said, we had to regulate our products through the FDA. And so it's been this whole process. We had to take some products off the market and whatnot. But through all of that, I learned so many lessons that now I'm taking into the future of our business. And we actually kind of realigned our path for what that looks like and our audience and the products that we're coming out with. And because over the past 6 months, and I would even say the past 2 months, where I really feel like I caught some momentum, I all of a sudden have all these new ideas and these new ahas on, okay, this is the direction that we need to go, because I've always been a visionary and Derek is too. We're like visionaries in different ways, but I can see things so much more clearly where beforehand it felt kind of like a dark cloud. Like I didn't really know where to go or what to do or what the future looked like. And then now I'm realizing, no, I still can control, or I still have opportunity to control my future in some sense where I can change my direction. I can change the trajectory of things. And so my thoughts and my body are so much lighter and my energy is lighter. And so I'm happier at home with my kids and with my husband. Like people notice a difference. I want to hang out with my friends more. I'm not as isolated. And I'm excited again about my business. And I think that's the biggest thing to your question, is that I have passion again for my business, where beforehand it started to creep down into only fear. And so now I have a reignite. I'm reignited with my creativity. So
I love that. I think that what you're speaking to is this process of when we slow down, our business actually grows because we create time for creativity and those ideas to come through us. And I think for so long, we have fallen into this trap of, if I slow down, that means my business is going to slow down.
Yes.
And that actually, when we give time for the pause and for ourselves and for taking care of our bodies and for regulating and for feeling our bodies, then our prefrontal cortex can come back online. Because when we're dysregulated and we're constantly in stress, we literally don't have the capacity for us to create new ideas because we're just in our survival brain.
Yes.
And so actually your business does grow and your business does expand when you do slow down and when you do take the time to take care of yourself.
It's true.
And to feel your body and to spend time in your hobbies.
Yeah.
And to just sometimes just be, like, not do anything at all.
Yeah. Just exist. Exist for a second.
Just exist. Yep.
One last thing I'll say about that too is that I heard so many people say that, oh, you need to take time for yourself, Yeah. My friends even told me you need to get hobbies, you need to spend time for yourself. I didn't listen. And it wasn't until I read this book, 10X is Easier Than 2X. Have you heard of it?
No.
And I went into it reading thinking it was going to reconfirm my thought process.
You're going to prove everybody wrong.
And it didn't. It really didn't. It actually was the exact same, talking about how the CEO and the boss needs to take time, like at least a day a week where you're not even at work, you're pursuing a hobby, you're doing something fun, because that is the absolute only time that you're going to get those ahas. You're not going to get it when you're in your office responding to emails and doing the nitty gritty. So I started to go on walks every day I always used to listen to a podcast, audiobook. I love learning. I'm like, I need some freaking silence, man. I just need some silence. And so I've been doing that, and it's absolutely changed my whole world, because it's been one time a day that I can, be one with my creator and feel like I can gain inspiration and just listen instead of be on.
Yeah, I love that. Such good advice. Such good advice.
It's helped me.
Good. Your state creates your story, and nothing will change until you rewrite the script and elevate the somatic script so your body can finally call in what's meant for you. In Holos, we identify your blocks and rewrite the somatic story, because patterns live in the body. We install new beliefs so they're anchored, embody new truth, rewrite the subconscious, and shift you from fear and lack into expansion and abundance in service to the divine feminine. Holos is where you rewrite your feminine story. It's where you anchor the freshest upgrade, the state your next chapter requires, and live from it every single day. If you're ready to stop trying to change your life from the surface and instead shift the body that creates it, apply now at www.holoshealing.info and step into the container that changes everything. Lexi, so many women fear they have to sacrifice like family for business.
Mm-hmm.
How have you been able to find time and space for your kids, for your husband, for these hobbies? Like what does that look like in your daily life? You've already spoken to some things, but just talk to us more about how you don't actually have to sacrifice your family for a business and how maybe you've been able to find some flow in that in your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe I could share like my schedule of what works for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like that helps. So we do have a nanny 3 days a week. So she comes and watches Junie so I can have like 3 full dedicated work days. And I feel like I get more done on those days than if I were to be home with her and sporadically doing work, you know? And then on Thursdays, so that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then on Thursday, sometimes she'll come with us and I'll do a half day and she naps there. And so we have like a little room and, you know, we have toys and whatnot. And then on Fridays, I'll usually just be with her, and the weekends I reserve for family. So my schedule in the mornings, like I said, are sacred. Like I don't go in before 10. So I usually wake up early. Like I go to the gym. I like to take care of me before my kids wake up.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it's like, hey, I've had my gym time. I get home. I can get ready. Then my kids wake up. I like to be with my son before school so I can make his breakfast, you know, make sure that I'm pouring whatever positivity into him that I can, send him off to school. And then, once I get off work at 4, then I'm home and I try my best I used to be really bad. I used to look at my phone and respond to emails. I felt like I had to get back to people all the way, like right away.
Yeah.
Like, why do I feel that way? In the corporate world, it's not like that. Like 5 o'clock, people's clocks turned off. So I eventually got to that point where I'm like, that's how it's going to be for me too. You know, this is outside of office hours. So I finally was able to connect it in my brain. I'm not going to work on things unless I'm in office hours. And it really helped when we had our new space because now I leave my house, I go somewhere. So if you're a business owner and you're working from home, I feel like it's even trickier because I've done that. Like it's too difficult so I feel like it's worth it to pay for a space like Kiln or even just some office space to get outside your house. And then, I don't work weekends. Saturdays we usually try to do something fun together as a family. And then Sundays are our reset days. We do all of our grocery shopping, laundry, and then usually do family dinner like with my family that night. And we're pretty in a consistent rotation now. That's like how it is. And, Friday nights are date nights and everybody kind of knows like, hey, this is what our days look like. So we have it structured. And that's ultimately what's helped me. But I also have a village to help me, you know? Like Derek can help me because we work together. I have my nanny 3 days a week. But ultimately, I love being a mom and I love running a business. So I just feel like I'm the only one that gets to decide what I devote my time to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like no one's forcing me to come into work. So that's always something that I'm like, okay, well then this is when I'm leaving and this is when I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it ultimately just comes down to being present. Also, like be present, doing whatever it is that you're doing.
Such good advice. Such good advice. Be present. Presence is so powerful and it's so healing and it just helps you stay like in line with what you're doing.
Totally.
And also I think when we practice presence at work and when we're home, we don't leave either situation feeling scattered or feeling like I didn't give my all because I was thinking about this over here.
Totally.
You can leave knowing I was fully present in that situation. And this, I think it just helps run things so much more smoothly in our lives. Just the practice of presence in and of itself.
And it's tough. Like I have a difficult time with it. Like it's something that I have to work on every single day to know, like, put your phone away, we're done here, be present with crew because he's older, and he can tell if I'm distracted or I always know if he's like, Mom, I love you.
Mm.
You know, he'll say something like that. He can tell that I'm stressed. And so I feel like it is something that's practice. It's like being present isn't just going to happen. Like you just have to work at it.
You would definitely have to practice it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So you already named some. I'm curious, Lexi, are there any more non-negotiables in your life that help you stay grounded outside of what you've already spoken to?
Great question. I'm trying to think of all the ones that I've talked about. I've talked about like taking care of my body.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, you already listed off a lot, which is great. I was just curious if there was like any more that you were like, this is an absolute non-negotiable in my life to help me feel better so I can sustain my life and my business and my family.
I mean, I think like in a roundabout way, like I know when to say no, and I'm not afraid to, you know, oh, hey, that doesn't work for me. Sorry, I can't attend. Sorry, I can't be there. We're very good at like, this is what's good for our family. And we're going to make sure that that's always at the forefront. Like we're always making decisions that are best for our family. And that's all that matters.
That's awesome. How has your relationship with your husband evolved as you have, I mean, was he with you from the beginning?
Almost.
And so how is that dynamic? We spoke a little bit earlier about your relationship, and I'm more curious about how your guys' relationship has evolved, some bumps in the road, maybe, of how you've been able to be in that dynamic, in that relationship with each other throughout the course of your business growth.
Yeah, it has been a journey. Definitely a journey. Back when we very first started, like he came on very part-time. He was a videographer we decided to do an online training, which was his idea. He's like, this will be so cool. Let's do a subscription platform. And that's what kind of started our education series per se. And so we would film together. And at first it was like super fun. We were filming together. And then it slowly turned into, okay, we're doing product now. And so he was fulfilling the orders like from our house. And so he had that role. And I was pretty bossy though, I'm not gonna lie. I've always been pretty opinionated, like I knew what I wanted. And so that would, of course, like have conflict there, what he wanted, what I wanted. And that's all, honestly, that's always been there in our dynamic. But as the business has grown and become bigger, when I fell into my, you know, being pregnant and really slowing down, he stepped up into the role of more of doing all the operations side, like handling the money, doing all of the, you know, transactions and invoices and trying to manage all that. Cause I'm not an organized person by nature. I'm like, I should not be handling this truly, genuinely. So we started to think, okay, what are more of your strengths? He's better with numbers. So it was really hard for me to give up control. And for a long time I didn't, because I thought, no, I gotta handle this. But our business started to go down when I was fully in control, because I thought that I could do it better. But what I didn't realize is that like that masculine energy was needed, but not from me, from someone else, from a masculine energy person, my husband, you know? Yeah. And I've actually like found so much value in that, because he is better at handling harder conversations, the numbers, all that infrastructure, you know? And so now that he's taken that on, it's allowed me to take that off my plate. I can be more and focus on my creative, and my whole team, their goal now, because we have a few males on the team, but the whole goal in general is like, let's keep Lexi in her feminine creative space so that she can, you know, have the vision, see the next thing, know how to portray it, all those things. So the business can keep growing. So I'm so grateful for that, because Derek has been like my number one cheerleader from the very, very beginning. Even though there was a dynamic of he felt kind of inferior for a minute, like, geez, you know, why are you the breadwinner per se bringing this in, and kind of had a hard time finding his spot in it all. But it felt right to pursue it because it was bringing in money, and also like we were both passionate about where it could go, and we loved the industry and what we were doing. But yeah, I would say now we have this better flow of, okay, he's in his lane, I'm in my lane. I've accepted, hey, I'm not good at that. You focus on that and let me focus on my creative, and things flow a lot smoother now.
So good to hear. And I think that speaks a lot to Derek for him
He's amazing.
Yeah, for him recognizing like your gifts and your talents
Yeah.
and the how that was going to be able to support your family. I think sometimes men in their ego would have a really hard time for that and fight
Totally.
it. But he was able, sounds like, to be able to find
Yeah.
that trust in your relationship, that trust in your gifts. And now look what you guys have created together. So go,
Yeah.
Derek.
No, go Derek for real. He never once, if anything, he was the one that made me see my potential for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What feminine qualities do you believe that you have that are your superpowers, Lexi?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh man, I need to think about it for a second. I do feel like I'm authentic. That's something that I've always tried to be, is share how I really feel, what I really think. I feel like I'm authentic.
Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, has authenticity always come easy for you?
I think that at my core, yes, but I've let outside opinions or the thought of what other people might be thinking sometimes stop me from sharing. Like, I always want to share. I've always felt called to share how I feel, why I feel it, what I'm doing about it. Like, I love that. And so I would say that now that I've gotten older, now I'm stepping more into it where, okay, well, I don't really care what other people think about how I feel, you know? So I've started to share more, but I've always been genuine in what I say. I'll never say anything that I don't actually feel or think. So that's probably come from my mom, like, built me up as a kid to always be myself. And, you know, I have her to thank for a lot of that. And I want to pass that into my kids too, because I'm very grateful for that.
Authenticity. Yeah. You can, when I watch your videos and just, you know, follow you, I can tell, I can see your authenticity coming through. And I think that has been led to your success of showing more of your personal life in your business, on your business page.
Yeah.
And letting people more into you outside of like the CEO.
Yes, thank you. I've tried. I never want people to think that I'm like perfect or that I have it all together, because it hasn't. It's been such a messy journey, but a beautiful journey that's, you know, and we all have it. We all have our stories of like what's led us to where we're at. And so that's why I was saying that the assumptions earlier is that I've always just assumed that people are probably going through similar things in different ways.
Yeah. And I think too, like when we started the podcast, we started talking about how like just rewriting the script of that you can have it all, that you can be a female entrepreneur, you can have a family, you can have an intimate, close relationship with your spouse. And I think what needs to be rewritten is the belief that everything has to be perfect.
Yes.
And that you can have it all together because you no longer are subscribing to perfection.
Totally. Yes.
You know?
Yes. No, I
don't
totally
always
agree.
have to have a clean house and have the perfect children, and
right,
we're going to have rough days in the job, like you said, with the FDA. Like sometimes things are not going to flow the way that we think they're going to, and that's okay.
I think it's important to even like lean into those things, because now it's like the harder stuff that I go through or the bigger problems that arise, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, there's a lesson to be learned from it. We're going to come out on top. It's going to be okay. And I agree. I feel like nobody relates to perfect. You know, it's like we all have the mess going on, and it's just about, you know, how you handle it and just keep going forward.
Yeah. So what would you say, Lexi, to the woman who is struggling with this dynamic of having ambition, but also wanting to be really present at home with her family, for kids, if she has that?
Well, I guess the first thing is it's passion is not going to go away. Like whatever passion you're feeling, it's going to stay there. So I believe that you need to pursue it. Otherwise, it's going to leave some sort of like hole in your heart of what could have been or what I could have done. And so I think that first recognizing your passions are also a priority, like you are a priority just as much as your children are, and that it's not selfish to want to pursue that and to set time aside for that. And I think that you should just go after it. You know, even if you have to set aside an hour or two a day to start doing research, even when your kids are napping, or ask your husband in the evening so that you can have some time away to step into it. Like, I think just recognizing, hey, your thoughts and passions are just as important. That would be the first step, is like believing that you could do it and that you're worthy of accomplishing it too.
Worthy, yes. And I think we've already spoken about presence,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that women, the feminine essence is so much about creation.
Totally.
I mean, we create. Like, we literally have this womb space where all of this creation energy comes from, and we have a portal between our legs where we create from.
True,
it's
true.
massive, the potential that we have within ourselves to create. And I think that when that is dimmed, or when that is shut down, or when we don't allow for that expression to come out, we get sick and we get depressed, and those symptoms start showing. And that you can find that balance between being present with your kids and also letting like that creativity come out in you. And I think it's actually a gift that you're offering for your kids when they see this creative expressions of you coming out in so many ways. And maybe that's not an attempt to make money or running a business. Like, your creativity as a woman can come out in so many incredible ways outside of just, mothering, which mothering in of itself is a beautiful creation. And if that's where you're putting your time and efforts right now, please don't get me wrong. Like, that's beautiful and so important. Right. But I think that we do a disservice to our kids when they see us suffering so much because we're not aligning with our creativity and our passions and our gifts in life.
Yeah.
I would never want that I would never want my girls to sacrifice that, to give up their gifts or their creativity or their passions, thinking that they had to choose one or the other.
I agree. And I feel like it's never too late to chase after it too. I know people that have told me, oh, I wish I would have done this, or this is the path that I was going to go on, but then I didn't. And, you can feel the energy of, geez, well, why didn't you? Or how about just start now? Just do it now. There's always time. It's never too late. You're never too old or young to start something.
No.
And you'll feel so much happier doing it. Like, it's brought me so much joy, so many lessons. And I just think that, ultimately you'll feel a lot happier if you chase your passions 100%.
Yeah. They say the opposite of depression is expression.
Oh, I love that.
That when we don't get to express in the world.
Yes.
It's like our soul's like,
yes.
No, I need to feel alive.
That's such a good point. I totally agree. Because I've been in both places.
And I think there's so many women, maybe it's just because of the space that I'm in and the women that I help, but I see it a lot where women like feel so disconnected from their aliveness. On the outside, they look like they have it all together.
Yeah.
They're going throughout their day, they're taking care of their kids, they're whatever it is, they're going to their work, but it's the aliveness within them that is being suppressed, and they feel just this like stuck, stagnant energy within them, inside themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that it speaks to, where are you not aligning with all of these beautiful feminine gifts that you have that is innate, that is a part of you, that is your birthright, that is wanting to be expressed in the world in some way. And not all those ways, like I said, mean making money. But I mean, I think you should make money off of your gifts for sure. But it doesn't have to happen that way. Lexi, if you could give one piece of advice to, maybe there's like a high school girl listening to this podcast, or just a young mom, or anybody who's just feeling this desire within themselves to create a business, to be an entrepreneur, what would that advice be for them?
I think something that has really, really helped me, especially recently, is I got really clear on who it is that I want to be and who I want to become. Like, seeing the future version of myself just a few years from now, like 5 years from now. Who do I want to be? What do I want that to look like? How is she acting? How is she thinking? Who are the people that she's surrounding herself with? what are the thoughts that she tells herself every day? Like, what is her internal voice saying? And I never got super clear about that. I only got super clear about my goals, but never super clear about me, who I wanted to be. So as soon as I got clear with that, every single day now I'm like, would future me do that? Would future me say that? Like, what does that actually look like for me? And then I can act accordingly, because ultimately, if you don't know who you want to become, you're a little bit directionless, even if it's just with your goals. And I realized how directionless I was with myself. And that's why I started to spiral so much. So I would spiral downward because I didn't have control in my mind of who I wanted to become. So now I feel like my vision is clear. I know, okay, this is who I want to be. I want to talk positively to myself. Anytime something, if I start to doubt myself, I'm going to replace it with positive thoughts, positive thinking, or even the people that I allow into my life or the way that people talk to me. Am I going to continue to put up with that? Or, I have doubts about getting after my dreams and my vision. No, I can do it too. I'm worthy of doing that. Just the self-talk. So that would be my advice, is get really clear on who you want to be and then execute it every day. And I think it takes practice, and it's taking me practice every day. But I've noticed an infinite growth within myself ever since I started doing this. So
Yeah, that's such good advice.
that's like my main thing right now.
Yeah. Lexi, how do you know when you've met your edge in your business or in your life? How do you know when you need to recalibrate?
Like,
What
in a
symptoms-
negative way?
No, maybe what symptoms, or what do you start noticing inside your body, or the way that you are performing throughout the day? Like, how do you know when it's time to stop,
Oh, okay.
recalibrate? Like, you've met an edge.
I get severe anxiety. Just lots of anxiety. I start to get more like panic attacks. It always feels like I'm on the brink of a panic attack. And that's when I know. And I start to get really tight again in my muscles. And I start to isolate myself a little bit more. And that's when I start realizing, okay, there's something up. And I feel like that's probably happened to me a lot in the past. I just didn't recognize it. I think this last time it happened, I'm like, okay, can't get anywhere near that again. So I think that now my goal would be to not get back to those places, but now I know my triggers, and now I know what fills my cup. And so ultimately now the goal is, okay, keep filling my cup, keep staying in my creative, taking care of myself, prioritizing myself, and I should be fine. It should work out fine.
So what do you do when that anxiety comes on? Do you have a practice that you do to help, like, immediately with your anxiety, or is it just you just slow down in general and just recalibrate?
For me, it's breathing. Like, I have to do breaths. Like, I go, hold it 1, 2, like box breathing. Hold it 3 counts, let it out, 3 counts at the bottom, do it over and over until like I don't have a panic attack. Because at this point, I feel like I've dealt with anxiety my entire life. Like, I used to be medicated for it when I was in middle school. And then as I've gotten older and I've realized how to work with my body more, I can kind of adjust and see, okay, what's going on. So usually I box breathe, and then I just try to get outside of my environment, like wherever I'm at, move my body in some way. Like, for me, moving my body is what ultimately gets me out of that state, even if it's just going for a walk, like even if that's all that I can do. But those are the things that I feel like definitely help me.
So helpful. I think that anxiety is so predominant in our culture.
Totally.
So predominant. And I think what anxiety really is just us fearing being inside of our bodies. Maybe it's masking like an emotion, or masking like not being in alignment with ourselves. And I think that when we kind of lean into that anxiety and get curious about it, it's almost like it softens, and it allows us to see where we need to take time to slow down. And a lot of the work that I do with people in like high performing, my high performing clients, is I'll tell them, slow down. When you're drinking your coffee in the morning, slow down. Don't have your phone by you when you're eating. Don't, look at your phone right before you go to bed. Even if it means waking up 30 minutes earlier in the day, so that you can be slow and intentional about making your breakfast.
Yes.
Be slow, like when you're talking to somebody. We're such a fast-paced go, 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 go,
Totally.
that it's almost like our bodies believe that we're in survival mode just from the way that we do throughout the day. How fast we're putting on our makeup, how fast we're washing our hair,
Totally.
how fast we're sending our kids off to school. Our body's like, oh, she must be running from a bear. She's in survival mode.
It's so true.
So I'm going to produce those physiological symptoms inside yourself because our body, our brain doesn't know the difference between real and perceived.
Yeah.
And so if we're high functioning, high performing, like go, 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 go all the time, our body's gonna be like, oh, she's in danger. So advice I give for like high performing, high functioning people is like literally just take time to slow down, like eat slowly,
I love that.
talk slowly, me and Lexi are drinking a big old thing of swig right now. You can't see it.
Don't chug it. Don't chug it.
We live in Utah. Okay, we're drinking a massive 44-ounce.
Yes.
It's not soda. It's
water. It's
water. But thank you, swig. But anyways, yeah, just slow down. I think will help over time with people who experience a lot of anxiety. And I think people who do run businesses, entrepreneurs who have a lot of stress on their plate, and who are always on the go, always feeling like they have to check an email or respond to a client, or I've got to get this Instagram post today done, or like we always have to be going and doing, and our bodies are like, okay, she must be running away from something dangerous. So
yeah, and it never goes away. Is the thing though, is what I've realized. Like those things will always be there. The emails, the posts, like it's those are always going to be there, the tasks, the things to do. So it's like you have to adjust. That's one thing I realized to him, like, hey, either I make an adjustment or it's just going to keep on going for freaking ever.
Yeah.
You know? So I love what you said because that's something that I'm definitely trying to work on too.
And I think so many people suffer with that. And I think we're just missing out on just like little small practices that we can do every day to build up that capacity within ourselves so that we can hold more life within us, the good and the difficult. It's all about building up capacity inside of our bodies so that we have that space for creativity, for flow. And what people don't realize is that we create capacity within ourselves when we slow down.
Yes.
Not by when we do more.
It's so true.
In those moments of slowing down and of doing regulation practices and somatic tools and nervous system rewiring that our bodies are like, oh, we're safe. We're okay.
Yeah.
Then we can expand and then we can grow. And like I said earlier, like our businesses are truly just a reflection, a mirror of who we are. And we are a mirror of what's happening on the inside of the inside of our world.
Yes, absolutely.
So, Lexi, as we close, is there any last thing that you want to offer, anything that you could say to anybody listening, male or female, on this path of, I think what you've spoken to throughout this podcast is like you redefining yourself over the years and you restructuring yourself, you learning from the past what didn't work and not quitting, but learning through your relationship with Derek and with your business and your kids of actually how to make this be even better.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess to that note, every single thing that has come into our life, big or small problem, amazing success or joy, all of it has taught me the lessons that I needed to learn to become who I am. And so for me personally, now my biggest focus is, okay, what learning opportunity can I take from everything that comes? How can I look at it in a silver lining approach, a grateful approach? How can I be grateful for my hard times that come? How can that help me shape me for the future? These are all things that I have been focusing on lately as I've been going through hard times in my business is, okay, this is how it's prepped me. And because of that, it's going to go even better. And now I've seen that mental mindset shift now translate into my business. And so I would say anything that you have in your life right now that seems like it is hard or a roadblock, it's actually the one thing that's probably going to help you take you to the next level. Because that's what I've seen with my own self. So
Yeah, such good advice. Thank you so much. I
Yes,
think
thanks for having me.
yes, I think anytime people experience resistance anywhere within themselves or within their business, whatever it is they're doing, that resistance is just there to show them how much expansion is available on the other side. And when
Absolutely.
people meet that resistance, it doesn't mean there's something wrong. It just means that it's unfamiliar
Mm-hmm.
because our nervous systems our nervous systems literally don't give a flying F about vision boards.
Yeah, no.
They only care about what is familiar.
Yeah,
And
true.
so when we've met an edge, when we've met resistance in something, it doesn't mean there's something wrong. It just means that it's not familiar. And so our body's going to be like, don't go there. That's not safe because it's not familiar. And so I think what you have spoken to so beautifully throughout this episode is that how you have met an edge and how you have learned to step into that edge, into that resistance, and show your body, your being, a different way of showing up in the world so that your life, your business, your family, your relationships can expand. And the beautiful message about how you learning how much gifts you have and how much you have to offer when you are operating from this feminine frequency,
Mm-hmm.
these feminine codes that we have within ourselves that offer so much to our lives and our businesses, and that we don't have to do things the way that we've been told to do them. Like there's actually a better way for us
Yeah.
to operate in our lives, that we have feminine CEOs all throughout the world who are making 7 figures a year,
Mm-hmm.
working 2 to 3 days a week.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I know males are doing this too, but like I feel like with this female energy coming in, because they've had to prioritize more of their time with their kids and all these things, they're finding a way to do it. It's possible.
Women do. We just find a way.
Yes. Women
we
are
cannot be
doers.
stopped.
No.
We're good multitaskers. So
yes.
I agree. I think that it's beautiful, and it's been awesome talking to you and like hearing your thoughts behind everything. So I appreciate you having me and honored that you wanted me to be a part of it.
You're welcome, Lexi. I'm so proud of you. I feel
Thank
like
you.
because I've known you since you were teenagers, like this mothering in me coming out, like I'm just so proud of you. And I
Thank you.
will continue to follow your success and come back every few years for my eyebrows to be reshaped.
I appreciate that.
Sure. So Lexi, how can people get in touch with you, learn more about you, find out more about your business and the things that you offer?
So you can go to my business page is Bowler Aesthetics on Instagram, and my website is bowleraesthetics.com. And then if you want to follow me on my personal page, it's Lexi Bowler. And yeah, I would love to have more friends on my pages.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lexi.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Free to be me, free to sing, sweet feathers envelop me like a hug, whispering melodies.
You've played the part, fulfilled your role, built the business, carried the weight. But lately, something's off. The success you've created on the outside doesn't match how you feel on the inside. You're burnt out, disconnected, numb. This isn't weakness, it's a signal. It's not a crisis, it's a sacred opportunity. Getting Lost is Being Found is a coaching program where high-performing men rebuild from the inside out. Strengthen your body, clarity in your mind, fire in your soul. Go to my Instagram at Getting Lost is Being Found and shoot me a DM, or click the link in the show notes if you're ready to transform yourself into the man you were meant to be. You're not broken. You're being called back to who you really are. The Safe to Be Seen podcast is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Darcy and Brandon Burke do not claim to be experts. We have no intention to defend our beliefs or impose them onto others. This podcast provides a space to allow for us to share with others what it's like to be us. We desire to share our human journey with others. We advise you to seek professional counsel, therapy, and/or treatment from trained, credentialed, and certified professionals for any emotional, mental, and/or physical conditions you may be experiencing.